at Inspired Michiana. I'm Diane Bennett with Inspired Homes in both Michigan and Indiana, and we are taking our very own Trina Uslick for Tuesday Tips. We're taking her around to see different lenders. She's about to buy her very first home, and we want to see what Linda McGinnity at Amerifirst Home Mortgage has to say about what steps she can take to get started in the process. So come on inside, and this is Tuesday Tips. So we're here at Amerifirst Mortgage. This is my friend Linda McGinnity, and so this is Trina Uslick. She actually works for Inspired Homes, and she is ready to buy her first home with her fiance. And so we're here to ask Linda, what are some things that John and Trina should do to prepare? What do you recommend? What do you tell most of your first-time buyers?
Well, I would say the first thing is to seek out a lender to get pre-approved, because that determines whether we have to credit counsel you or we've got to work on some employment issues. So I would start there. And to do that, we just need you to bring some documents, and I can give you a list of those.
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right. We have heard lists of documents for sure.
Right. Yeah.
Lists.
All of the lists. What makes Amerifirst different? Like, how do you guys do business differently than maybe other lenders do?
Well, I think the number one biggest thing is we are a mortgage company who services all of our own loans. So we keep our loans, which means your payments would always stay with us. In addition to that, it gives us leeway as far as guidelines. So I can make exceptions when most other lenders cannot.
Right,
Okay.
right.
So as long as it makes sense, I mean, we're not going to make exceptions for really terrible credit and that kind of thing. But as long as it makes sense, we can make some exceptions.
Since you're keeping it and not having to resell.
Right.
Yeah. So a mortgage lender so what happens a lot of times is a mortgage lender will sell the loan off to I don't understand how all that works, but
they basically have investors that they have to meet those investor guidelines up front before the loan closes, and then they sell the loan to that investor. We have products that other lenders don't have. As well, we have like renovation products. So if you found a home that needed a little TLC, we have several products for that you could purchase the home and fix it up at the same time.
In the same loan?
In the same loan.
How would that work?
It's basically we'd get what repairs you want to do to the house to fix it up. And they can be
builder to
get a contractor to bid it. It can be required repairs to bring it up to code, and desired repairs to make it the way you want it. And then we take your estimate, have an appraiser go out on that, and he appraises the property 2 ways for us, as is, and what the value will be once it's completed. We base your loan amount off of the value completed. And it's kind of like a construction loan, so we close up front, and then as the work gets done, we pay the contractors.
Okay,
That's
now
awesome.
would we get to choose our contractors, or is that you guys have contractors that you provide for
a good
us?
question.
You get to choose your contractors.
That's
We
awesome.
don't have required contractors. As long as your contractor would agree to the draw schedule and doing the extra paperwork.
Right.
It does mean more paperwork for the contractor to have to go through
It does.
and get stuff. So you also said something when we first started about you might need credit consultation. So I don't know that Trina and John do, but some of our viewers might. What does that term mean? What is credit consultation? And
Basically, if somebody comes into me and they're not credit ready to buy, I start counseling them and give them an action plan with a deadline of when they should be able to buy based on our discussion of how much they think they can pay off if there's debt that has to be paid off. And then I track it and call them back
So
several times.
You
to
help
see how
them
they're doing.
improve their credit.
I help them
to-
improve their credit.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been doing this a long time, so I know exactly what it takes.
Okay.
Now, so I've had customers that I've worked with for 2 or 3 years, and eventually, if they follow what I tell them to do, they can buy.
Right. So, but then obviously, once you start that program, your credit's not well enough, so you can't really.
so they can't start looking then.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like
until
time now, till
they-
the credit is fixed.
Gotcha.
Right. So like they would come to me and say, "Oh, Diane, I want to buy a house," and I hook them up with Linda, and she finds out. She finds out that they're not ready. She doesn't know that until she starts to talk to them, but she finds out that they're not ready. Well, we can't really buy one right now.
Right.
But this is what I see, and then you give them certain steps.
I actually have a piece of paper that I complete with what they need to do, and I tell them, okay, now, do you think you can pay, let's say they have some collections that have to be paid off. Do you think you can pay this off in 3 months, 6 months? That's kind of up to them. Other things I can say, okay, it's going to take you a year because you don't have credit. You have to establish credit. This is what you need to do to establish that credit.
Gotcha. Okay.
And what are some tips? What would you tell? I have some that have just graduated college, and she doesn't have any credit yet, right? She's not. I guess she's starting to build credit now that she's renting. That's a way to build credit.
And
yes,
we can use what we call alternate credit too, which a lot of companies don't use, but I can use the alternate credit, which would be a rent history for 12 months.
Okay.
I can use auto insurance paid at least quarterly.
Okay.
I like utilities as well, so if they have utility payments through their rent where they're paying gas, electric, that kind of thing as well. But I've got a whole list of other things that we can use to help credit
And
and build credit.
should some young people in this generation maybe go get a credit card so that they're starting to use it and then pay it off and use it and pay it off?
Definitely. You know what I did when my daughter was going through high school? I put her on as an authorized user on my card on several cards to help build her credit. So once she graduated from high school, then she had enough credit that she could get credit cards on her own.
Right.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Wow.
Great.
All right.
Well, Facebook, thank you so much for watching. If you would like to find out more, Linda would love to talk to you. We'll put you in touch with Linda McGinnity at Amerifirst Mortgage. And we just thank you. You guys have a great week. Bye-bye.